What's up, guys? It's Jacob again. Today I'm going to be making Sarah's intermediate Skewb tutorial. It's faster than the beginner method, but it's not as fast as the most advanced. Yeah, let's get into it. First thing I'm going to be going over is finger tricks and sledgehammers and head slammers. You're going to want to hold the cube to where these fingers are back on the back like this. Thumb is on the bottom or to the side like this. This thumb is going to be right here, and these fingers are going to be on the top. So you're going to want to hold it like this. So for sledgehammer, you want to pull down here and push with these fingers, pull up right here, and then move this back. So that's a sledgehammer. Now, a head slammer is like the opposite version. It's down, down, up, up, but like going this way first. So to hold it, you kind of hold it the same way, except this hand is the same way, but you want to hold it like this, not like this, like this. So you would push, pull, push, pull. That's a sledgehammer. So, or head slammer, I meant. Yeah, just that. It's a head slammer. The first step in Sarah's intermediate is the same as beginner, except you just you would learn to do it more efficiently. You should learn to be color neutral, which is being able to solve the Skewb on any color. But right now I'm just gonna do white because it's just easy. So first thing, I'd see this corner. It would be easy just to move it right down here, which would be easy. And then there's this corner. You could just do the same thing because it matches up with this corner. Now, this corner, you can move down here, be just as easy. But this is where you would use a head slammer. So you would do the algorithm, because this would go down here. You just do the head slammer algorithm, and it would fit in that spot. So if you're making the white side and you're on the last corner, and there's this one, you can't just move it down like this. This is where you can do a sledgehammer. So you would do the algorithm, they put it in like that, and you got the white side done. So the next step after making the white side is to make the whole top yellow. You just do that you just look at the case and do an algorithm to solve the top side. So the first case I'm going to be going over is when there's an arrow right here and headlights to the right. To do this, just hold it to where your thumb's on the arrow and do a sledgehammer with the headlights on the left, and that would solve the top side. The next one is the same case but backwards, so like an arrow but the headlights on the left, and to solve it you would do a head slammer, so like the opposite. So a head slammer would solve the top. Next case, there's an arrow, but this time there's no headlights. When this happens, you're gonna do like 2 sledgehammers, except you're gonna do, so hold it to where the arrow's off to the side, do the sledge, and then that creates this case with the arrow and the headlights, and then you're gonna do a sledge that solves the top. So now the next case, it's the same thing but backwards. You basically just do the same thing but with head slammers instead of sledgehammers. So hold it the same way and do a head slammer, and that creates the other case, and do a head slammer that solves the top. Next case I'm going over is when those headlights and the yellow center is on top, like this. So when you get this case, I do it where I hold the headlights on the left and do 2 sledgehammers, and that solves the top side. Next case I'm gonna do is when there's a peanut and these corners facing this way. To solve this one, you hold it to where the corner in between the 2 corners facing that way out is on the left like this. You want to do a head slammer, rotate, sledge, sledge. That solves the top side. I'm going to be going over this case. when this center is right here, the yellow center is right here, and there are no other headlights. So to do this case, just notice that there's this corner off to the right above the yellow center. When it's to the right, you want to do a sledgehammer from right here off to the left of the center, like this, and then it gives you a hedge slammer, and you can just solve it like that. So now I'm going to be doing the opposite case. The center is right here and there's no other headlights, but this time the corner that's facing up is to the left of it. Now you're going to do the same thing as before. Go to the left of the center, do a sledge, but this time it's going to be this case. So you got to do a sledgehammer again to solve the top. Next, I'm going to be doing this case. It's basically just like beginner, except you didn't make the headlight or the corners, they're just already there. You just do the same thing as beginner's method. I hold the center in the back and do sledge, then sledge. So next is this case with the center right here. There's headlights facing away from each other, or corners facing away from each other, and then there's headlights in the back like this. So when this happens, you want to hold the center right here, do a sledge, then that sets up this case, so you want to do a hedge, sledge, sledge. Next, we got this case. This is the last one. I saved it for last because I think it's the worst one, and there's just a lot of moves in it. So you basically do the same thing as before. It's headlights and the center right here. You just hold it like this, and you want to do a sledge, but this time you gotta rotate the cube twice, and then do this peanut case, like we did before. So that was all of the cases to put the yellow on top. So now the last step is just to solve the cube using one of the algorithms. So the first case I'm going over is called a U-perm, when these centers need to switch. There's one solve. How I hold it is find the opposite center. So I got orange and red right here. So this isn't opposite because red isn't opposite of blue. But this is opposite because orange is opposite of red. So you find the opposite. Now it could be red or green and blue, but right now it's red and orange. How I do it is just hold it to where the opposite is facing you, and as long as the white and the yellow are facing to the sides, you're good. So you want to do a sledge, rotate twice, and then do a sledge. That solves the cube. So the next case is the H-perm. Basically, these two need to switch, and these two need to switch. They're all opposites. So you would do the algorithm like this. That solves it. Next case is the Z-perm. This is the last case too. These two need to swap, and these two need to swap. You gotta hold it to where there's the two. You can't hold it like this to where the two need to swap. You have to hold it like this to where these two don't have to swap. I want to do this algorithm. That solves it. So that is it for my Sarah's intermediate tutorial. I hope it helped. Hope you're wanting to get faster at Skewb. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.